Going on? We're gonna jump right into this. Jackie, what is going on right now? I think you muted yourself. You're
Jackie,
muted.
you're muted. Jackie, you're currently muted.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's because I keep getting a call. Yeah, it's becoming a freaking madhouse here. Like it's becoming insane. It didn't even have to like get to this point. We could have ended this like two civil people, but he insists on like not doing things the way they're supposed to be done, and he's just like ranting, raving, trying to dox people, trying to just put lies out there along with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over it. Like it's beyond when he got here off of Sardine Tank or whatever it was called. I'm not sure if that's the name of it. He didn't even own up to the shit that he did, on there. He didn't even apologize for it. All he was saying that it was all AI and that everything was on there. Everything that was on there was AI. He even tried to lie and say that there was no one on there named Jess. And I'm like, bro, what? Everybody's seen you. Everybody knows there was someone on there named Jess,
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, there's nobody on there by that name. I don't know who you're talking about. And he just kept ranting and raving about stuff. And I'm like, bro, just own up to it. He tried to say it was AI. He told me it was AI. He told his mother it was AI. And instead of owning up to his shit, he's just making it worse. I would have talked it out with him eventually and still came to the conclusion of divorce, but we didn't have to go this far. And now we're here and there's no turning back, and he's just on a downward spiral, That's what it
What
is.
what was Alex's mental state before ever going on Fishtank compared to after being on Fishtank?
He's always been this way, but it's gotten worse. His mental state was, honestly, he's always been this way. He's always had a problem, but it was never this bad. Now it's gotten worse. Since the fish tank, it's gotten worse. But now, since sardine tank, oh God, like that was the end of it. I don't know, and I have no idea why. And he keeps saying that he's been trying to get away from me. Bro, do you honestly think that he and his mother would have spent thousands of dollars on a very expensive, lavish wedding if he was trying to get away from me? That does make that make sense. Make it make sense. If he's a guy with so much money and so much, status or whatever, he don't you think he would have gotten away from me a long time ago? I mean, he did it to the last person he was with. He just ghosted them and left them in his condo. Why can't he do that now? What he's such a big badass fucking guy. Why can't he do it now? He keeps saying that, oh, he doesn't want me. I'm ugly, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. No, bro, you don't want me now because I know what a piece of shit you are. And you cannot fucking fool me anymore, He can't fool me anymore, and now I'm no use to him. I finally stood up to him and I told him no, that I wasn't going to go with him anywhere anymore because I was supposed to go with him to accompany him to the Alex Stein show. I told him no, I wasn't going to do it. He got upset. He got pissed. You're not supportive, you're negative, you're this, you're that, you shit on my fucking career. I'm like, bro, what career? What career?
On that topic with the Alex Stein stuff, I've heard on his stream that he said you stood in front of the car before he was on his way to Alex Stein. Is that true?
Bro, if I stood in front of the freaking car, no, Jesus Christ, no. If I stood in front of the car, he would have called the cops on me. No. And how can I stand in front of the car when he parks it inward? I would have had to stand in the back of the car so he could reverse it and get out of the driveway. Alex is a liar. He was also on Twitch earlier, which I heard, and he was saying that he wears makeup because I punch him in the face for watching some show or something. I'm not sure. Alex wears makeup because he wants to wear makeup. Because he's trying to hide all the rosacea or whatever the fuck he has on his fucking face and his damn crow's feet. He wears makeup. Like, literally, that's the argument between us sometimes, because he's always stealing my fucking makeup, bro. You know, and then he goes on stream and says, "Oh, I have to wear makeup because she punches me in the face." Bro, that is such a lie. It is such a fucking lie.
Earlier today on Binks's stream, I guess Binks was re-streaming Alex, right? What is your, obviously, you know, there was the canoodling, them being close to each other in the fish tank. Outside of the fish tank, how much of your animosity towards Binks is embellished upon? Like, does Alex embellish? Like, how much do you really dislike Binks? Oh, you're muted again.
Honestly, I don't have any animosity towards her. I would hype up the chat and, like, you know, play into the whole I fucking hate Binks. Yes, I dislike the girl. I don't care for her. You know, I seen what I seen. She was flirting with my husband. Let that be known. But he was also doing it too, you know? And at the end of the day, a hoe is going to be a hoe, and she's going to do what she's going to do. And I can't blame her for that. But I can blame him because he should have had more respect for me for that, you know? And he didn't. But as far as, like, me having this big bad anger towards her, no, bro, that was all for show. Like, I've even asked Alex, like, why can't I reach out to Binks? Why can't I talk to Binks? And he told me, do I reach out to your fucking exes and call your exes? I'm like, okay, so you're calling her an ex-girlfriend. That's what you're saying she is, because that's, you know, pretty much what you're saying. No, I'm just saying, like, do I reach out to your fucking exes and tell and ask them questions? I was like, but it's not the same though. Binks was never your ex or your girlfriend, you know? And he was just like, that's just fucking weird. You're a fucking tard. Like, why do you want to fucking reach out to her for? And I'm like, I just want to clear the air, bro. I'm tired of this going back and forth. No, don't fucking reach out to her. That's fucking weird. You're gonna look stupid. So we just left it at that. But now I know why, because people would come in Alex's chat and they'd be like, um, he's talking to Binks. He's messaging Binks. His mod is messaging Binks for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stupid. I believed that he didn't, you know, he wasn't messaging her because I wanted to trust him, and he would just tell me, you know, ban them, honey. They're just fucking walkers. They're trying to trigger you into thinking that I have something with her, and I don't. What
Yeah, I mean,
finalized it for me?
even after the fact, like, Ian came forward and said that, yeah, he sent those messages and those were real messages, but Alex, like, held
And
on
I
to
didn't
the
even
fact that
know
they
that
were fake.
I didn't even know that he came forward and said that he sent those messages. I didn't even know. I asked him, you know, myself, and he just laughed at it. You know, he didn't deny, or he didn't, you know, he didn't say it was real, but he just laughed when I asked him about about him sending those messages for Alex. And yeah, I went through Alex's phone. I seen in his Discord he was messaging Binks. He was talking back and forth with her. There was no flirting on her part, but he was messaging her saying that he was trying to meet up with her, and I'm like, whoa, how the fuck is he gonna meet up with her? Are we gonna meet up with her, or is he planning on lying to me and telling me he's gonna go on another show to meet up with her? You know, and it's the whole fish tank thing. He keeps saying, honey, I'm not gonna go on fish tank, I promise. I'm just saying that to the audience so that they can to see maybe I can bait Jet and Sam to pay me my money. And I'm like, either if you're going on the fish tank, you need to tell me, because that's gonna finalize it for me. I don't want you going on the fish tank, and I don't want you dealing with fish tank shit anymore. Like, I'm done with it. It's causing too much stress on our relationship. Like, bro, come on. And he's just like, no, I'm not gonna go on season 4. I promise. It's just to bait Jet and them out, you know, to see if they'll pay me the rest of my money. I was like, Alex, it's been months already. You honestly think they're going to pay you your money, Alex? Come on. They were going to pay you, they would have paid you, but they didn't, you know? It's a lot of stuff, that goes on that people don't know, and he continues to lie. And because he's Alex, and people want to believe him, because he's whatever the fuck he is, entertainment to them. They want to believe that he's this fucking person that they think that he is, but he's not. He never takes care of the monkeys. Right now, he's taking care of the monkeys because I'm not down there, because I'm trying to stay away from him. That's why he's forced to take care of the monkeys. He doesn't take care of them like I do. The cage stays dirty when he takes care of them. He's always on Xanax. He's always asleep. When he's not streaming, he's asleep, and he gives two fucks about the monkeys. He only takes Benji out when he wants to put him on camera and act like he's such a good fucking pet owner, and that's just not the way it is. You know, Luna does not like him. She runs from him. She doesn't like Alex. That's why he does not take her on stream, because she does not like him. It's not because she prefers me. She does not like him. I had to force her to go on stream with him because I'm like, okay, you're always complaining that these are your monkeys. Take her then. Take her on stream with you. I had to hide in a room so that she would go with him because she doesn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is not a good pet owner.
So after showing up on the sardine tank, though, a lot of people have come forth and said that there was copious amounts of Xanax being eaten. Just watching how he acted on the stream kind of indicates that there was a lot of Xanax. I grew up around rampant Xanax use, right? So I could it definitely looked like the man's on Xanax, especially not knowing how to find his own flight on the way home. How bad exactly is the Xanax usage, if you had to say?
When I tell you that it's bad, he's admitted to me that he had a problem. He's like, honey, I know I have a problem, but I can't quit cold turkey. I've tried to take him off of Xanax cold turkey, just not giving into his shit. And when I tell you that it stressed me out completely just to have him around me while he was getting off of Xanax cold turkey, he couldn't differentiate a dream from reality. It was like when he was awake, he was still in his dream. It was weird. He was talking to me about things that I didn't even know about, or he just randomly come running down the stairs accusing me of shit, and I'm like, I can't take this, bro. I would go downstairs to go sleep on the couch because the withdrawal from the Xanax is horrible. It's horrible. When I say it's horrible, it's intolerable. It just puts you through a whole bunch of anxiety. You don't know what this guy's gonna do. So he cannot quit. He can't quit. He doesn't think that he has a problem, even when he admits it, and it's just gotten out of control. And you guys seen firsthand what it looks like when Alex takes Xanax and he drinks. I asked the people, and I don't want to say names, I asked the people who were producing that show or whatever it was not to give him liquor. I said, guys, if you give him liquor, he's going to get out of control. He's going to get out of control, and you guys, no one is going to be able to control him. And I have text messages to prove that I said that. No one is going to be able to.
So, are you saying that he was most likely on Xanax while on the show? Did he somehow?
Oh, yeah.
So you think so he somehow brought it with him, and because there was a lot of fan
she's
speculation.
Talking about sardine tank, but was he on Xanax during Fishtank?
Yeah, wasn't he on Xanax during Fishtank? Because there's a lot of fan speculation that he was, especially when he got out of Fishtank. We got to see more close-ups of his face on his Instagram stories, and a lot of us thought that he might have looked like he was on something. What do you have to say about that? Was he asking you for it? I mean, did you know anything about him taking it on the...
When he was on Fishtank, I couldn't get a hold of him. So when he left from here, he only left with 14 pills, right? Because I was like, Alex, when I try to take the Xanax away from him, he just puts up an argument and he gets violent, bro. He does get violent. And I was like, look, I'm only gonna allow you to take 14, Alex, because I don't know how long you're gonna be over there. No, you just want to see me withdraw on the show, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I don't want you taking it, period. So he took 14 pills there, but he said, I'm not sure if it was Jet or Sam or Vance. It was someone, one of them continued to give him Xanax. It wasn't a high dosage, he said, but it was
One of the
enough.
members of production continued to give him Xanax. Is that what you're saying?
That's what he said.
That's what Alex said.
That's what he told me, because I'm like, how were you doing it, Alex? You were there way past, enough for 14 pills, so how were you doing it? And I was like, was Bert giving it to you? He's like, no, bro, Bert had like this GNC stuff, but the members of production, I don't know who it was. He was like, somebody from production gave it to me. They didn't want to, but I told them that I needed it to sleep, because if not, I wouldn't be, a good contestant on the show. So I needed it. So they had to, they went and they found some, and they gave it to me. It wasn't as strong as the ones I get, but yeah, they gave it to me. So I mean, that's what he's selling. That's what he told me. So, but yeah, he was on Xanax on Fishtank. He's been on Xanax for years.
Do you think his withdrawals? Because I think at one point in the show, it looked like he didn't have any more for sure. From my
Yeah,
point of view, it looked like he was basically in need of dope, and I think that's part of the reason why he made an excuse to leave so early was because he needed more. Do you think that's what it was? I mean, when he got out of the show initially, was he running to you for Xanax?
yes,
Really?
he was, because he knew that, because I had never flown before. I had taken maybe like two pills, one for the flight home and one for the flight there, because I don't take them like that. I have bad anxiety, but I still don't take them like that. But I took them for, they were his, but I took them to fly there and to come back. And he was like, honey, do you have any? I need them, And I was like, Alex, I can only give you like a half, because like I need the other half for myself to fly back home. And he's like, I can't take a half. A half is not going to do nothing for me. So I had to give him mine because he wanted it, because he said he had anxiety flying back on the plane, which is bullshit, because he's got a very bad habit, a very bad Xanax habit, and it's causing him to go into a downward spiral, and this is what's happening. Everyone's seeing the real Alex on Sardine Tank. That's the God's honest truth. That is the real Alex, full blown. That is what I deal with on a daily basis. That is what's downstairs right now. Not full blown, but it's down there right now. That Xanax monster is down there right now.
When earlier on his Discord, he said that he had left you guys food and $3,000 to last 3 weeks, which would indicate that he was going to leave the show to go on the cruise with you guys anyway. Was this predetermined, or?
He told me he was only going to be gone for maybe a week or 2 weeks tops, right? But then I seen on the show that they were telling him it was going to last a month, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm okay for a month. I'm okay." And I'm like, "Okay, he's okay for a month. That would mean that he's going to run out of Xanax. Like, what's going on? Somebody's probably giving it to him." But his intentions to come back home, I don't think he had any. I think he came back because he seen me there, and he knew that I had some on me, and that was his way to get out of there. And like you said, because he knew I had them, and he had run out.
Mm-hmm. He also claims that while he was in the fish tank, you went into the safe and wrote a check for $2,000 and forged his signature on the check. Can you tell us what is he talking about?
He's talking about nothing. Alex has no checks, bro. He doesn't have money in the bank. He has no money in the bank. When I tell you that he has no money, he has no money. When he's telling you that he has money, his money is like he says, it's on paper. It's like things that are put aside for him by his family, but he has no access to it. Zero.
Mm-hmm.
There's no access to it. So he keeps claiming that he's got. He really doesn't. No one's gonna trust him with.
I think you're muted again.
Yeah, if you silence your phone, you might be able to block the calls from coming in.
Yeah.
What happened today with the cops coming to the house?
I call
Oh, you're muted again.
cops because, like I said, since he's been doing all.
Still
we got you
muted.
muted. Get you muted again.
I said,
Are they
since
calling you? Are they calling you on Discord, Jackie?
No, they're calling me on Facebook.
Okay.
Since he's been running around doing all this, like I haven't gotten any sleep. So when I was on Discord last night, I forgot who we were on Discord with talking. Someone mentioned that Alex was at a hotel and that he was going to be on his way back to Kentucky today. Do you know the relief that I got from hearing that? I was like, fuck yeah, I finally get to sleep. I get to go in the room and just sleep and then wake up tomorrow and focus on me and do what I got to do. Only to like hear that he's opening the door at 4 in the fucking morning, coming back to the house, and I hear him dragging the monkeys in and dragging the cat in, and he's making a whole bunch of noise. So when he got in at 4 in the morning, that was it. There was no more sleeping. I could hear him pacing around downstairs, thinking of how to provoke me to get me to go down there and crash out on him. And he's just talking this shit, and he comes near the stairs and talks loud so I can hear him. I've been in this room for the past couple of days. If you watch his streams, I have not once went down there. I have not once texted him. The first text messages went out to him today. I tried to talk to him civilly. I tried to tell him like, hey, I know this is ending. We're getting a divorce. I'm not trying to get you back, nor do I want to. But bro, if you got to use the shower to wash your ass, you can do so, bro. You can come in here and use the restroom. I'm not stopping you from that, Alex. He starts talking shit to me, threatening me, telling me about the check that he can get me. And I'm like, I'm not even going to get into that. Like, I'm not going to read all that. So I'm just going to, like, if you want to shower, you can come in here and shower. I'm not going to, like, fucking go crazy on you. Like, he went crazy on me right now when I went to feed the monkeys. But yeah, he definitely does have a problem.
When one of the things I wanted to ask is two weeks ago he went on stream and said that his neighbor's dog had been skinned alive, and that the dog getting skinned alive was targeted towards him. Can you kind of tell us what he was talking about and what actually happened?
It was a lie. He lied about that, and I asked him why he lied, and he had no excuse. That was a lie. The neighbor's dog never got skinned. What happened was that when we were cleaning in this house, the door stayed cracked open, and his cat Trouble got out of the door, and someone did steal her from our yard and took her about an hour away from the house, and they tortured her. They tortured her, and then they left her for dead, and someone took her to the vet, and she got put down at the vet because apparently they couldn't get a hold of Alex, so they put her down. And when we seen her body, she was tortured. She was skinned. Her arm was broken. That's who really got hurt, was his own cat. And I'm like, Alex, why didn't you just go on your stream and say that it was your cat? That's what happened to your cat. Why lie and say it's your neighbor? It makes no sense, you know? Why the lies continue for no reason.
Mhm.
But no, it was never the neighbor. It was his cat.
Do you think it's possible that he was targeted in this specific incident? Because doing just like some quick investigative research, it does seem like there's a person who lives in like the northern part of Houston who does actually. There's been multiple animals found over the last several months that have been skinned or skinned alive or tortured. Does he think that he was targeted because of his fish tank affiliation, or is it just a fluke?
He thought that, I mean, he kind of thought that he was targeted, but I was like, Alex, they would have had to been watching outside of our house 24/7 to wait to see if the cat was going to come out. No, I do not think he was targeted. I think someone found her here, tried to take her home, and Trouble was not very social. She just liked to be around her own family, and if she didn't like you, she wouldn't go around you. And I'm thinking that someone stole her. She tried to get away from them and they got upset and they hurt her. I don't think he was targeted. It would have literally had to be somebody that was like watching 24/7.
Why? One of the things Alex had said in his Discord as well was that he doesn't have any money until a specific day. And another thing that I've heard is that they're trying to get his mom to essentially like pony up money so he could do the streaming career, do what he wants to do, and that's part of the reason he bought the website and thing. But he's not. He's supposed to try to stay away from the fish tank thing as a whole. Um, what do you know about this?
That's true. That's true. He had a whole team and he was doing really well. And the deal was like, the mom doesn't really like she doesn't like to be involved with all of the fish tank stuff. And I don't blame her, it's just caused a lot of problems. And that was the deal, she would look into it. They would, talk about it if he would stay away from the fish tank. Anything that had to do with the fish tank. And he would just stick to just streaming, on his own. But Alex, you can take Alex out of the fish tank, but you can't take the fish tank out of Alex. Like literally, he eats, sleeps, and shits fish tank.
Mm.
Would you say he's the perfect contestant?
I mean, if you want a liability, yeah, sure. Like I've never. He is a good. He is good entertainment. I'm not going to take that away from him. He really is good entertainment, but he needs to be controlled because he does not know how to just like he doesn't know how to he doesn't know self-control, and he's got to be, and that's a lot of what I was doing for him. I may have came off hostile and like a fucking bitch and all this and that, but it's only because I was keeping him in line. I limited him on the things that he could do for a reason. And now that I'm not doing that, look at what he's doing. He's causing a whole bunch of chaos and destruction for no reason. He look at what he did on that show, with Aperture and everything. That's what happens when I don't when I can't control him. That's what happens when all these rules are broken and he does what he wants to. He starts to go into a downward spiral. But people don't see that. They think that I'm doing this because I want to stop him from entertaining, that I'm just shitting on his career. People have all kinds of opinions about me, but the fact is, I was controlling him for a reason, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm not going to be there for him. I'm not going to babysit him anymore. And this is what's happening to him.
It seems like his manager has can kind of corrals him or tries to manage him to some extent. What all do you know about his manager? I've met him very briefly. We've talked, I think, once. He's kind of an asshole.
He is an
What's
asshole.
going
I've talked
on
to him
there
before.
with all of that?
Um, I know his manager personally. He's a good guy. He's a very good guy. And he tries to get Alex to just relax and chill out, you know. And sometimes he's got to be firm with him because Alex is the type of person that if you're not firm and you don't stand your ground with him, he'll run all over you. He'll do whatever the fuck he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And even sometimes his manager can't control him, you know?
Do you think, especially like right now, his manager would be, I'd say, doing a good job? Like personally, I don't think Alex should be live right now streaming
I don't
his
think he should
meltdown
either.
to everybody. You know, he says he's not a lol cow, but then he does things like this. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, honestly, I think his manager's doing a poor job of like, you know, and if he sees this, no offense, but yeah, he can talk to Alex and get him to like, you know, do what he wants him to do, but you know, you can only do so much for Alex and then he'll just stop listening. So I can't completely say it's his manager's fault, but he does need to be firm with him and talk to him and tell him that, you know, he needs to go about this differently because Alex is going based off of his chat. Alex is listening to the people in his freaking chat and they're giving him the most horrible advice, you know? They're telling him things just so that he can act out on it and then it'll cause problems and, you know, cause all this fucking issue. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of listening to his team and his manager and all that, he's listening to the wrong people. He's listening to his chat.
Yeah, I'm good friends with his mod on the Discord and on the streams and stuff, right? And since the very beginning, I've always said like, hey, you can't have Alex. Alex can't be talking about this, or Alex can't be doing this. Like, he's gonna get the stream taken down. Like, you got to stop this. And that was always taken as like an attack towards Alex. Like when the information would get back to Alex, it was like I was attacking him or trying to
I think
stifle
more
him.
so, yeah, I think that's just Alex. Alex, anything that paints him in a bad view, in a bad light to people on social media, he just erases it, bans it, doesn't want to look at it. He only wants people to glorify him and praise him for things. He does not want to own up to the mistakes or like, oh, you're right, I shouldn't be doing this. He doesn't want to take advice. Alex does what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and he doesn't care. You know, he really doesn't.
He was saying earlier that you had 5 active bench warrants out for your arrest. However, the cops are at your house today, and you're still there. So,
Exactly.
um,
Exactly.
I guess one of the things I wanted to know is, why are you still in the house? How long do you intend on being in the house?
I'm still
Um,
in the house because, like I told the cops, like I continue to tell everybody, I've spoken to people before about the situation because me and Alex have had arguments over this many times. And I've told him, you know, I would like, when we got together, Alex, he told me that he wanted to take on the responsibility of being a stepfather. He wanted to take on he wanted to take everything on like a man. He wanted to support his family. He talked a lot of good game, you know,
mhm.
and I before him I was very independent. I worked, I had my own apartment, I had everything. It may not have been $1 million shit, but it was still good enough for me to lay my head to rest. You know, I had my own car and everything. And ever since I got together with him, little by little, he had been just cutting pieces out. Okay, don't work because we're gonna be traveling a lot, and you can't keep a job, honey, if you work. You know, if we're going to be traveling, your job is to sit next to me and take care of me and make sure that, XYZ, that I'm okay and I have what I need. That's your job, honey. And he made it sound like he was okay with that, So I left my job. And after I left my job, things started changing. He started throwing things in my face, telling me that he pays for everything and that I don't appreciate shit, and that I'm negative, and it's just constant throwing things in my face. So I've told him before, let me get a job. I'm perfectly fine with getting a job. Thank God I still have my limbs on me that I can still move around and work. And he was always just like, okay, you're like threatening, like, okay, you're gonna go get a job. Well, guess what? You're not gonna use my car. You're gonna have to, over here, there's no buses. There's no buses. You would have to either get an Uber, walk, or use your own vehicle. And I was like, Alex, come on, be realistic. Like, how am I supposed to get to a job without using the car? And then Uber or Lyft is just going to be more expensive, and it's going to be draining our finances. I could easily walk too, but it's going to be a long stretch. By the time I get there, I might be late. So I need to use the car. And he's like, no, you can't use the car. I can drop you off. And I'm like, Alex, let's face it. Like, you're not a reliable person. I'm not going to rely on you to drop me off anywhere, because you probably won't pick me up and you'll drop me off late. It was always an issue. Or he would say, okay, you're going to get a job, then I'm going to go out and I'm going to do something too. And I'm like, bro, why do you have to make it an issue for, bro? Like, just to answer your question, like, the reason I'm still here in this house is because I need to financially get myself back on my feet. He used to scare me, and he used to bully me and tell me how he was going to bury me in a whole bunch of legal fees if I did this or I posted that, or he was just trying to shut me down and scare me. And for a little bit, it did scare me. I wouldn't say anything. Even on the live streams, when I would stream with him, you would see me sitting there and I wouldn't really talk much, because he would tell me that I couldn't say, there was a lot of things I couldn't say. Either that, or it was like kicking under the table, like, don't say this, don't say that. But yeah, I told him, I'm going to stay here in this house as long as I can until I find me a job. I'm not just going to leave off a crazy whim and end up in the freaking street. No, I'm going to find a job. I'm going to get myself back on my feet, and then I'm going to leave. I'm not asking him for shit. I don't want shit. After this is done, I don't want anything to do with the fish tank community. No offense. I don't want anything to do with the fish tank community. I don't want anything to do with Alex. I am not on Alex's streams at all. Any information that I get is solely from people messaging me, clipping stuff, and sending it to me. I don't watch his streams anymore, because it's just, a recipe for disaster. He's just going to try to rage bait me, and I'm not going to give in to that. So that's why I'm still here, and I'm going to continue to still stay here until I get a job and I can financially support myself. But him, as my husband, whether he believes that we're married or not, what he can think what he wants to in his own little delusional world, he cannot kick me out of here. That's what the cops told me this morning. They were like, he can't.
Yeah, I mean, your name's on the lease. He can't actually get you out of the house unless a restraining order is filed, and to do that, you need to actually assault him.
Not even that, though, bro. Like, he was like, because I was like, Alex's name is on the deed. Does that mean that he can kick me out? And they're like, no, he can't kick you out. You guys are married. This is community space. This is between y'all. You guys, you can't kick him out. He can't kick you out. Now, if he feels like he wants to try, he can go and file for eviction. But you guys are married, and he can't make you leave. You guys can be civil and stay on one side and the other one stay on the other side, but he can't make you leave. You get mail here. You've been living here. He can't make you leave. And he also told me that Alex can't stop me from using the car. If I want to go down there and get the keys and go and take the car and use it to go do what I have to do, he can't stop me. And I was like, well, if it's under his name, can I still use it? Because he told me that he's going to report the car stolen if I touch it. And they're like, no, we definitely won't take that report. He cannot report this car stolen, especially if you're his wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Where's the gun?
I don't know. I really
The
don't
gun
know.
from the night he was on Fishtank and he pulled the gun out and almost killed himself because
What?
he was so. You don't remember that? That was the same night you were calling Bert the hard R. Alex got the gun out. He racked it like
Oh,
3
are you talking about
times.
when he went on Fishtank Live?
Yeah, where's that gun? Is that still in the house? Like whose gun was it?
My son, Alex asked my son to purchase that gun for him because he was streaming. His excuse, I'm streaming. I want to protect my family. I promise I'm going to keep it in the safe. I'm not going to be taking it out. And my son's like, well, don't do anything stupid with it because it's under my name. Alex can't get a gun because he's a felon.
Mm-hmm.
And he searched up some type of law here in Texas. I haven't even looked if it's true or not, that felons can have guns here in Texas. So he just went above and beyond with that. And I don't know where the gun is. I have a second key to the safe because it's my safe. And when I opened it, the gun was not even in there. So Alex did something with that gun. Where it's at, I have no clue. That's also why I called the cops this morning because I'm like, bro, this guy tries to come in here and like shoot me while I'm sleeping. Like, people need to know. And yeah, the gun is MIA right now. It's MIA, and he's trying to say that my son took it back, but that's not true. Alex bought that gun, and he's not just gonna let somebody take something that he bought.
Yeah, with his own money. So he's also claiming on stream that you assaulted him just a little bit ago. What's like when you went down to feed the monkeys?
I think
What
everybody
exactly
could see
did
what I
happen?
was doing. I was feeding the monkeys, and he came at me like hardcore, and he was like, "Get away from me! Get away from me!" I even have the Ring camera to show that I didn't even touch that dude. I went down there. I was like, "Alex, calm down. I'm just feeding the monkeys. Don't touch my monkeys! Don't touch my monkeys! Get away from me! Get away from me!" I was like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting all hostile? Jesus!" I'm bending over, feeding the freaking monkeys, and then he keeps trying to bump into me so that it could make it look like I was like pushing him or something, which I wasn't. You could clearly see. And I have the Ring camera video to show that I was walking around him trying to feed the monkeys. I did not even touch Alex. Alex was touching me with the side of him. You know, I didn't touch him. So he's lying about that. I didn't assault him. That's retarded. Like, why? After I'm calling the cops and they tell me not to touch him, okay, that's his way of trying to get me out of this house. That's on him. You know, clearly the Ring camera is going to show that I didn't touch him. So I'm not worried about that.
Clyde, actually, we all love Clyde. Clyde wanted to know about Sophie. Is that the monkey? Who's Sophie? What is he talking about?
Sophie is the original girl monkey, the first monkey that we bought. She was maybe not even like a month old when Alex accidentally killed her. And
He sat on her?
he sat on her. I remember that day because we were watching movies and she was in her little bassinet. It's like a cloth bassinet, and she had a blanket over her. The DoorDash got there, and I went to the living room, you know, and I went to go get the DoorDash, and I told him to watch the monkey. He was so high off his fucking horse that, like, he, I don't know if he forgot. I don't know what happened. But when I came back, I'm like, where's Sophie at? And he's like, oh my God. And he jumped up off of the bed and he started moving the blankets around looking for her. And he noticed that he was sitting right on her. Like, he pretty much suffocated her with the blankets and sitting on her. And he, you know, he did take it hard. It was an accident. It wasn't purposely done. It was an accident, you know? And that's what happened with that. Then he bought Benji and Luna, and he lied to his mother, and he told his mother that Luna was Sophie because he did not want to own up to what he did, and he didn't want her to know what he did because she was going to get after him, for spending all this money on these animals and not treating them right. So he was like, don't tell my mom. I don't want to hear her, telling me, grilling me about how much money I'm spending on these animals, and I'm not taking care of them. And I was like, well, Alex, if it was an accident, why don't you just tell her? And he was like, I can't tell her. So you're not going to tell her. We're just going to tell her that this monkey is Sophie. When we go over there, Luna is Sophie. That's why his mom's like, I hear you saying Luna, but isn't her name Sophie? And I'm like, Alex doesn't want me to tell her anything. So I'm like, yeah, we call her everything. We call her Sophie, Luna, but her name is Sophie. It's a lie because Alex just didn't want me to tell his mom that he accidentally killed the monkey. And this is why I don't want to leave the monkeys around him, because he's not fit to take care of them. He's watching them now because of everything that's going on. But even then, so you should ask him to show you the cage. Show you the cage where he's got them at. They're literally.
I have a question. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
Before we get past it, you were talking about like marriage and stuff. And earlier you talked about how you guys are married, right? He
Mhm.
said that your husband got deported to Mexico for raping a 14-year-old. You guys never have actually been married. You had a wedding. I think it was like a year. You got married a year after his dad died, and then you guys didn't have the wedding until like a couple years later. I just want to know what that whole situation is about. Thank you.
We did. We got married a year after his dad passed, and we didn't have a ceremony because of that. Um, and then we had the ceremony, which took place right before he left the fish tank. As far as like my ex-husband, I don't know why he keeps bringing that up. Like if I have anything to do with what other people do, that has nothing to do with me. And that man is dead. That I don't know why Alex keeps
Is he
saying
dead,
that.
or is he like dead, like in your mind,
No,
your
he's
mind or
dead.
hearts?
He's dead. When me and Alex got married, when we got married the first time, without the ceremony, when it was just us, and I was thinking too. I was like, okay, shit, I'm still married to this person. I have to look for this person because if not, I won't be able to get a divorce. I looked for him. He was nowhere to be found. So I found his sister on Facebook. I reached out to her. She called me and she told me that he had been dead for about 4 years prior to that. And I was like, well, where did he die? Because there's no information here. And she's like, he died here in Mexico. That's where he died. He died in Mexico. And I just left it at that. I didn't even tell Alex because I knew Alex was going to flip out. He was probably going to think that I was trying to reach out to my ex-boyfriend or my ex-husband, whatever. So I didn't tell him. I was just like, you know what? Let's get married. Because obviously when somebody dies, that severs the ties. You're free to marry. So we got married. I don't know why he keeps thinking that like we're not married. Like that's in his fucking delulu head. Like that's what he's thinking. For whatever reason, I feel like he just wants to, have the easy way out. And that's just not what's gonna happen. He's legally married to me on paper twice, you know, and that's what that is. I mean, he can continue to say he's not married, that it's not real. He can say what he wants to. What is he gonna go dig up my
Hey,
ex-husband's body?
I have some questions. I have some questions for you. I have some
What's up?
questions here. I have some questions for you. It's me, Blue Hickey. I was heavily inspired by a blue meanie. Did you know that?
We'll
Okay.
ask the questions, bro.
I got a question for you. Hey, what's up with setting up a dinner plate for the dad when he's there when the kids were growing up? What's up with that?
What?
I don't
I,
know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I guess putting a
What's up
plate
with
on the table for the father of the children, even though he wasn't there while the kids were growing
yeah,
up. I
yeah,
think that's
what's
what
up
he's
with that?
talking about.
Yeah,
Yo,
bro,
what?
I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Yo,
that's
what's up
like
with you
coming
putting
out
on
of
makeup
left
to
field.
look like a white person? What's up with that? You can't be race swapping. You can't be
All right.
race swapping. What's up with?
Good job.
Bro, what? The fuck was
Good job.
that?
He's just one of the local special needs kids. You're gonna give him a
Yeah,
second to kind of
he's
like
a
come
special
in,
little
get their
guy.
speech out, and then
Yeah, apparently Alex was talking about how the father would
Fuck,
put
I
out
got more questions for you.
you would leave a dinner plate out for the children's father even though he wasn't there. Do you think it's weird with Alex being, in his late 30s that he
Can you hear me?
wants to I can hear you.
yeah,
Can
we
you
can
hear
hear you.
me?
Are you able to hear us?
Oh,
We like to party. We
I like to
like to
party.
party. We like to party.
What do we think while she's disappeared for a second?
I
Let's
think
check
it's going pretty good.
check the YouTube.
Yeah, let's look at the hate comments. Guys, talk about how we can't fit in a regular like plane seat. Talk about that in the comments.
I can fit in a plane seat. I have to sit in the middle on a roller coaster though. It's called the double
Is she gonna
buckle.
come?
No, I'm here. I'm just not on camera.
Oh,
Okay.
are you doing okay?
Oh, I'm good. I don't know what happened.
Are you able to turn your camera back on?
I mean, I can. I don't know if that's why it kicked me off or let me see. Okay.
There we go.
Ooh, pork chop sandwiches. What's going on? I heard something earlier about one of Alex's mods stealing his credit card to pay for a phone bill. What's going on? Do you know anything about this, or what's that all about?
Yeah, I mean, one of his mods got his card information because Alex was buying bots for his channel. They were trying to raise his views up, and they had this idea to buy bots. Everybody buys bots, honey. It's nothing new. Everybody buys bots, and I'm like, okay. I just left it alone. I didn't even get into that with him. But I heard him when he was like, don't tell my manager and don't tell my IT guy that I bought bots. This is just between me, my mod, and you, because you know.
Didn't he get
I'm
banned
like,
for
why?
botting multiple times?
Huh?
Did he
I
get
think he
banned?
got
Like his
banned
group got
for
banned multiple times for botting?
follow botting. Yeah, botting followers. I think so. Yeah.
I have no idea what he got banned for. I don't know if that was recent or whatever, but yeah, that's how the mod got his card information, because he gave it to him to buy the bots, whatever they were doing, and the mod got his card information, and allegedly the information stayed on, I guess Google saves card numbers. I guess I'm not sure what he said the excuse was, and he said that that's what happened, that he paid his phone bill and he paid for food twice, 2 days in a row that this happened. He paid food one day and then he bought food the next day, and then he paid his phone bill, and Alex confronted him. When Alex confronted him about it, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to. I didn't know that it was saved on there." And Alex was like, "Well, why didn't you just come out and tell me? You could have just told me instead of like keeping it from me." And he was like, "I was gonna tell you. I forgot." Alex didn't even make him pay it back. He just reported the card stolen, and the mod got no type of he paid nothing back. He didn't even get reprimanded for it. Everyone was telling him like, "Hey, when you get higher up there, bro, and you start making good money, this guy, how are you going to trust this guy with bigger money like that, you know? And I was like, Alex, are you just gonna let this slide? And he's like, no, honey, we're planning on firing him. We're gonna fire him. I was like, no, well, you need to tell him what he's done. Like that's not cool. You guys need to talk to him. You know, and apparently this was gonna take place. He was gonna talk to this mod, but he never did because this mod is like the leaders of one of his clans, right, on Fishtank, and he's afraid that this mod is just gonna spill all his information out, you know, all the secrets that he's been keeping for him. So Alex does not, like, he's not afraid of that mod, but he kind of is because this mod knows so much about him, you know, and this mod doesn't know that he was allegedly going to get fired for doing that, you know. So that's what that's about.
I think Parzy's got a question.
Do you have a driver's license?
Sorry, I can barely hear you. What did you say?
Do you have a driver's license? Hello?
Can you
have
hear
a
me?
driver's license?
I'm sorry, Willie.
That's fine.
Hello? Are you able to hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. I'm just gonna go ahead and just keep the freaking camera off because I don't know what's going on. But yeah,
Do you have a driver's license?
that's what went on with the mod.
Yeah. Is it a current or a former mod?
Oh, it's a current mod.
Okay. And then I had another question. Do you have a driver's license?
No, I don't drive.
Really? Alex said that all 3 of your children, he made a deal with all of them. If they got their license, they would get a car. And then he said, like, he it seemed like he was taking on a lot of financial responsibility. Would you say that's true? He, like, kind of tried to gain financial control of your life?
Yes, that's what he did. That's what he did. But he also wanted to. When we got married, he wanted to. He's like, I want to be. You guys seen him? He was stepping up, lying and saying like he was so proud to be the stepdad that stepped up or whatever the fuck he was saying. That, you know, he was so proud to be the dad, and now when things are not working out for him, he's like, fuck you, fuck your kids, you know, I didn't want to do this financially, blah 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 blah. He's just going back and forth. He's attacking me and texting me the most horrible shit, and then he goes to my eldest daughter and he's trying to convince her that he never wanted this, he never wanted to end it like this, and this is not his fault, and blah blah blah. He's texted her many times, and I'm like, bro, what is your obsession with my older daughter? Like, I'm kind of feeling like you've got an obsession with her because every time we argue, you run straight to her. I have another daughter. I have a son. Why don't you go talk to them? Why is it always that daughter? That daughter sees Alex like a dad. There's nothing weird about it. But Alex makes it weird when he's constantly running to her and telling her things. You know, it's just weird. He's never done anything, you know, out of character. But I'm just saying, like, it's just weird that he's just constantly trying to go and, like, tell her stuff.
Hello?
Yeah?
Should be good. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, I want to throw it back to
unmuted
when
now?
we.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Jackie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. This is key, and you know me. You know my voice, right?
Mhm.
There, you know,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know it's me.
Yes.
First of all, how can you talk all like? It's not like you were talking crazy shit, but how could you say that stuff about Alex with the phone card when you know he hasn't paid me a cent?
No,
Like
I
a
know that,
literal
but that
goddamn
wasn't the question.
cent.
That wasn't the question that was asked to me, Ken. And I made it a point not to say your name. I made it a point
Okay.
not to
I mean,
say your name.
the fish tank
And
community,
I'm
no, yeah,
okay, but me
you're good.
for my own caution, I made it a point not to say your name. Second of all, the question was not asked to me if he paid you or not. I agree. Alex never paid him. He never paid him. Was he intending on paying him? Yeah, he was. But when? I don't know. And the thing that Alex would always tell me, since he's letting all my shit out, he would always tell me, honey, I was like, Alex, are you going to use the loan that you get from your people to pay the mods? I said, or are you going to pay them out of your pocket now? Because can you afford that? And he's like, honey, I'm going to tell these people what they want to hear so I can use them as long as I can. I don't
Did he
intend
really
on
say
paying
that?
them.
You like, I don't know if you're talking shit or if you did, because
I,
I've known you now for like 2 months, and honestly, with like being 100% honest, you are sometimes the only one that's like the voice of reason in the room. But that's just because, and I think everyone knows that Alex can be a little bit irrational sometimes. But I just think all this is a little bit much, and I gave him the advice to exit the house. I don't. I know he's back now. I just hope you don't try to turn this. And I know I'm not accusing you of anything because you haven't done it yet. But I just hope you don't try to turn this into like you're afraid of Alex and he's like a danger to you. Because I promise you he's not.
definitely not.
Okay,
Definitely
thank
not.
God.
That's
Because
not
that was
what.
what made me more mad than anything. Because I've seen that time and time again where
Yeah,
guys kind of
the
get the
intention,
shit end of
bro.
the
Like
stick when it comes to that shit.
that's not the intention here. But we seen him on Sardine Tank.
He was
When
unhinged in Sardine Tank, no question.
exactly,
Elber was screaming at him. I had to show him. I had to show Elber all of the clips. I didn't want to do that. It was like felt like ratting out my buddy. Like here's Alex fucking up
exactly.
here.
You
Here's
don't. That's what I'm saying. People don't want to realize the way he is when he's unhinged. They want to believe all the good and not the bad. No, you have to take the good in with the bad or the bad in with the good. The reality of it is, do I feel threatened by him? Yes, I feel threatened by him in a different way. Not physically, that he's physically gonna harm me.
I
No, because
promise you he won't.
Alex
Yes,
has
I promise you he
never,
won't.
ever, ever, ever put his hands on me. He's bitten me a couple of times, but he's
Hit
never
you.
put. Yes, he's never put his hands on me. I mean, he's probably pinned me down, but not like punching me or
Yeah,
anything. And vice versa. I'm not. If you've seen, and I know Ken that you've been modding his shit. Have
for
you
like 4
seen me?
months now.
And be honest. Have you? But recently, have you seen me downstairs crashing out on his stream lately? No, I've been
No,
up
you
here
haven't been.
in this room. I haven't even attempted to contact him until today. I haven't talked to him. I haven't surrounded him. I haven't talked shit from above or below. You haven't heard me yelling at him. I'm just trying to keep the peace with him. The first time that I walked down there today was when I went to feed the monkeys and he started crashing the fuck out. Like, bro, what is your problem? What are you doing? I'm not trying to do all that. I'm trying to make. I know that this is done. I'm not trying to convince him to stay with me. We're past that. We're past that.
Obviously, yeah.
Because even if that happened, even if I forgave or he forgave or whatever the fuck happens in this house, I can't get past what he's said already about me. I can't get past that, and I can't get past what he's done on Sardine Tank. It's just not happening. And I know
Agreed.
I'm not saying he wants me, and I'm not saying that I want him. But we can work this out civilly and be like, look, bro, I'm gonna have to stay here until I get on my feet. I promise you, I'm not gonna fuck with you. You might see me down there because it's the living room. I have to go
Yeah.
in and out of there.
You
And I know that
won't like, oh, you
eventually,
bumped me into the kitchen and oh my god, that's assault.
no,
Like,
that's
you know what
him,
I mean?
bro.
And if he
That's
makes
him.
content with Binks,
Are you
he's not.
scared to go downstairs?
Honestly, I
Right,
am because he's
well,
gonna
right
do
now
to
I can
me like he
understand
did
that. I
right
can honestly
now.
understand that right now because they're standoffish. But if that wall, that sort of like it's like a fake wall right now, if that wall that you guys are sort of like having in between each other, like if you're allowed downstairs and he's allowed upstairs, I feel like you could commingle at least for the time being because he's honestly, being truthfully with everyone here, he's going a little nuts being up for 40 hours always on live. Both Elber and I said that wasn't the smart thing, but he thinks it's in his best interest for his own personal safety. And just being in that mindset is going to degrade him to the point. Oh, I thought someone left. It's going to degrade his mental well-being. And I don't want that to happen. I hope you don't want that to happen. But I hope you know, like, same with you. I don't want you guys to feel like there's like a fucking barrier in that house. Just live in it, commingle, as you guys have been doing for
I've
years.
been trying to
Yeah.
do that, but he's putting up that barrier. The way that he's acting, everything that he's already, bro, this is my husband. This is the person that married me twice, not just once, twice. So you're going to sit there and tell me that all that shit, all of that freaking spending money for this lavish, expensive wedding, all those trips we went on, everything he's done, buying this house, buying the kids' cars. You're going to tell me all of that shit went out the window after Sardines Head. You're going to sit there and tell me that you're telling chat that you've been trying to get away from me, that you don't like me, that I'm fucking ugly, I'm this, I'm that. Bro, you could have left me a long time ago, but you didn't. You're switching up the stories here, bro. You're lying. Why do you continue to lie? Like, what, he's listening to his chat and they're getting him in trouble. That's the problem. Do I want to do this? No. But he triggers me. Everything that I hear that he's saying about me, the pictures that he's posting on me. Do you know that
Yeah, it's a little bit uncalled for.
I talked to the cop this morning, right? And he's like, look, he can stream all he wants. And unfortunately, you're going to be in that stream. People record us all the time. You can't do anything about that. But if he posts pictures of you, that's different. That's like, it's safety issues.
And I'll tell him to stop posting pictures of you.
And
I agree.
that picture's already out there. It's already out there. Do I want to go and report him? No, but he keeps threatening me. I don't want anybody to lose anything, but he's trying to threaten me and do, as far as that goes. Like, he's trying to, like, do all these things and then just have me just sit here and cower away and, like, be quiet and don't say nothing and just take it. Just take all this shit that he's doing. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a fucking coward. I will never sit the fuck down and be quiet for someone for their own benefit. I'm not going to do it, especially if he's belittling me, dragging my fucking name through the mud, dragging my fucking kids through the fucking mud. Bro, no. He's not going to get away with that. He's got to pay for what he's done. He's talked shit about you, Ken, many times. Many times. And I'm not going to lie, I have too, but I've also told you, damn, Ken, you've grown since the time that, you've come so far, and when this whole thing happened with the fucking card thing,
Yeah.
it gave mixed emotions to me. I'm like, why, bro? Why did he do that? Like, was it an actual fucking mistake? Alex wants to see the good in everybody. That's the God's honest truth. But he's more so afraid of you because of everything that you know. And you know so much, Ken. Like, so much. You're always there 24/7, talking on the phone with him. You hear our arguments. You hear when we're arguing, when we're happy, when he's being fucking devious. You know everything. Everything.
Yeah.
You hold
I mean,
so
apparently,
much.
I guess I thought I did, but I didn't because at the same time, a lot of shit, like the animal thing, I thought that was a huge mistrust that they didn't tell me that it was Trouble, not the other animal that died.
And there was no point to that. I make it make sense to me. Why? Why would you lie and say your fucking neighbor's dog got skinned when it was your baby? And you know what? He did all this fucking crying and about his cat and stuff, and he took her to the crematorium. Guess where she's at? She's still there. She's been there for 2 weeks already. He has not went to go get her.
Well, that's
She's been there
really sad.
Have you
It really is.
have you locked him out of the ring cams? Is he not allowed to access the ring cams?
Here's the truth about that. Way before all of this stuff happened, with Ring, you have to send invitations to people so they can access your camera. You can't just give them a code and stuff. They have to have an invitation sent to their email. His invitation got sent to Alex B. Axe. And I keep telling him that. Alex, I sent you the fucking invitation. Like, all you gotta do is open the fucking email, bro. That's it. Open it and accept it. I can't resend the shit again because he broke my phone. You know, he broke my phone like 2.5 weeks ago. I was without a phone for many weeks. I had to get me a fucking Obama phone because this motherfucker broke my shit. He broke my
How do you
iPhone.
break it?
I mean, he slammed it on the fucking ground. That was around the time when I caught him messaging Binks. And I caught him, he had some girl's video some girl sent him a video and he tried to lie and say that Fert and Youre fucking posted it to his Discord, and he so casually downloaded it and screenshotted it so he could show me so I wouldn't be mad and think that he was talking to women. Lies, because under the video it tells you where the video was saved from, and it was saved from his text messages. When I didn't believe that, he got upset. He went in my closet, threw down all my shit, broke all my shit in my closet. Then he proceeded to grab my phone. I'm like, Alex, that's my phone. He's like, I fucking paid for this goddamn phone. It's my phone. Grabbed it, slammed it like 3 times, stepped on it, and it shattered. Then he was like, I'm going to fix your phone. I promise, honey, I'm going to fix your phone. 2 weeks passed. He didn't fix shit. So I'm like,
Well,
bro,
I'm sorry
just keep
about that too. It's not okay.
I'm like, bro, just keep the phone. I had to order me a fucking Obama phone, bro, because, I mean, how am I going to get a phone with no money? I need to keep in contact with my family because my mother is dying. And I told Alex that, why would you do that? That's my only way to contact my family because my mother's dying from kidney fucking failure, bro. Like, why would you do that? I have so much on my fucking mind right now and you're acting this
That's
way.
so fucking up.
It's
Have
fucked
you
up.
talked to Pam about any of this? Is Pam, because I know she's in touch with Alex about it and she's not happy. But like, obviously you have a good not when it's not maybe not the best relationship ever. But have you talked to her at all about this? Has she
I
talked to
haven't
you
reached out to her because
of the bullshit? Of just
she's
yeah.
got so much. When I tell you this lady is under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, not only from the things that she deals with, you know, personal things in her family are going on, and she's got so much stress. The last thing, and I made this promise to her, Pam, I'll promise I'm going to keep your son out of trouble. Pam, I promise. I shouldn't even be saying her name, but yeah, I promise that I'm not going to add stress. And that's
Yeah.
all I feel like we've been doing is adding stress to her. And I haven't reached out to her. I reached out to the sister, but I didn't reach out to her, his mom herself, because of the things that she's going through, And the sister has already told me, if you have to tell me anything, if you have to tell my mom anything, just reach out to me and tell me. So I
Okay.
talked to the sister and I told her, you know what, things are not working here. And I have the text
Okay.
messages to show.
So at
Things are
least yeah,
not
she
working
could
here.
potentially know. Like at least through the
I'm sure she
sister.
knows now. I'm sure she knows
Yeah.
now. And I was upset. I didn't post it on all my social medias. I went to my Facebook and I posted it on there. I want a divorce. I don't care who sees it. I'm tired of people trying to shut me down and shut me up and stop me from posting things. I want a divorce. I'm not happy in this marriage. I want
Oh,
a
she saw
divorce
it.
and I don't care who sees it. And they seen
Seems
it.
like you both are very unhappy.
Exactly. And I've been unhappy since Fishtank. Since the first Fishtank. And I thought that we could work it out. I kept trying and trying over and over, but we'd have these little quarrels, and we've always argued. Me and Alex have always argued on and off, and it never got this bad. It never got this bad, bro. Like, we argued, but then we'd be downstairs cuddling and watching movies together. But this time, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, his guilty really showed. That's what leads me to believe, and you know, Aperture can say that nothing happened between him, Alex, and that girl, that lady, whatever the fuck that was. Everyone, I had everyone and their daddies messaging me talking about, you deserve better. Alex is a piece of shit. You don't want to know what he's done. He's so disrespectful. Like, he's married and he's groping all over these women. He's going into the room with this person named Jess, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, what did you do, bro? Like, god damn, like, you can't go anywhere. Like, literally, if you want to be single, just say you want to be single. You know, don't sit there and cheat on me repeatedly. I'm fine. And this is like after the Binks messages, after the video. It's just shit building up from like months before, weeks before, and then it leads to this. And this is like the final fucking straw, bro. Like, it's enough. It's really it's enough. And I told him that, like, I'm not going to continue to sit here. If you're not happy, just own up to it, bro. Just say it for once. I'm not happy, Jacqueline. I want a divorce. I don't want to be with you, or I'm not attracted to you. He could never own up to it and tell me to my face. All he kept saying was, I love you, but if you can't accept Fishtank, I'm sorry. No, what? There's no conditions in love. You either love me or you don't. You want to stay with me or you don't. He's like, I do. I want to stay with you and I love you, but what, Alex? But what? You just don't support me. I want to do in real life content. I want to do Fishtank. I want to do this. I want to do that. No. Just say what you're saying. You want to stay in the Fishtank community. You don't want to leave it, because even Kian can tell you, like, Kian came to terms with it. Like, he's like, okay, look, we can. And you've heard Kian many times on Alex's stream. Hey, Alex, don't pay attention to chat. Let's just play the game. All of his team tries to get him to do the good so that his mom could see the better side of streaming and not the shit part. But he continues to engage with these toxic fucking people in chat, and they keep telling him about the same shit about fucking, Fishtank. And I get it. Fishtank's entertaining, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But, like, letting it overrun your life and, like, letting it become your life, that's when it just starts to become too much. Like, you're starting to make plans without telling me, and plans to bring Fishtank contestants here in our home and invade our privacy, putting up cameras everywhere for Fishtank. Bro, they're going to hear all the arguments that happen between us. Are you ready for that? They're going to see that you really don't take care of those monkeys. Are you ready for that? No, honey, it's just going to be put on the monkeys, and we can turn off the cameras when we want to. We're going to be in charge. It's not like Fishtank.
Did you sign a prenup when you married Alex? Was the prenup signed?
I did not. There was no
No?
prenup signed.
Okay. And then one of the questions I have is, like, you said earlier about him, like, giving his phone number to, like, your daughter's friends and stuff.
He did.
Which ones? Like, you don't have to say their names, but, like, immediate friends? Like, have we seen these people on stream before?
No, never. Because this little girl, I stopped her from coming here because she was starting to have an obsession with Alex. And I know that he knew what he was doing. Alex is an attention whore. He likes attention. Whether he was going to act out on it or not, this little girl comes from
now,
a
when you say
broken home.
little girl, what exactly do you mean?
I'm talking about little girl, young girl, like 14, 15. She would come and hang out with my daughter, sometimes spend the night here. But she had gotten so close to Alex, he felt comfortable enough to give her his number. And I'm like, Alex, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Like, if she needs to get a hold of my daughter or they need to get a hold of me, that's where I come in. I'm mom. You need to let her give me her number so that she can call me. You know what that looks like, Alex. Honey, it was not meant, it wasn't meant like badly. It was just like, in case she needed, in case, we had to get in contact with Vanity. And I was like, it doesn't matter what you gave it to her for. You still gave it to her. So I had to call this little girl, right? And I had to tell her, like, hey, so and so, like, did has Alex reached out to you? And she's like, no, ma'am. I said, has he made you feel uncomfortable? No, ma'am. Has he ever told you anything weird? She's like, no, ma'am, he hasn't. I was like, you promised me. I said, because this is not me attacking you. This is me wanting to know if anything weird happened, if he made you feel uncomfortable, or he made you feel like you had to give him your number. She's like, no, he just gave me his number. And he says that she asked him for his number. And she's saying, no, he asked me for my number because he said he was going to keep in contact in case we went somewhere and, he wanted to talk to his daughter or whatever. That's where that was. And then she proceeded to come and spend the night here at the new house. And I noticed that, like, a girl is supposed to confide, when she's got little problems or whatever, she's going to confide in the mother, not the father. She was like, hey, Alex, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm like, whoa, bro, what? And I'm like, Alex, what are you doing? Right? Because it was Thanksgiving, and Alex was like leaving the Thanksgiving table because this little girl's like, Alex, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, bro, do you know what that looks like? My family looked at me like, are you really gonna let him get up from the table and like walk over there and talk to this little girl? Like, what does she want?
How old was it Vanity, right? How old was your daughter like when she was friends with this 14-year-old?
I don't even remember, to be honest. But that's what he did. He literally walked over there, and he was like, oh, it's because her and Vanity had a falling out, and whatever, just high school drama shit, right? And I was like, Alex, but like, you need to keep your distance because you never know when things are going to change up. She could lie, and she could say that you're making her feel uncomfortable. So you need to be careful, Alex. Let me handle these things. If she's got a problem, let me handle it. Let her talk to me. This was the same little girl that wanted us to adopt her as a child. And I'm like, bro, no, we're not trying to adopt a grown ass kid. We want a baby, not a grown kid. We want a baby, and I just asked her like not to come over here anymore because she started coming over here and like demanding stuff and wanting us to get her stuff. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. She's got to stay at
Would
her home.
Alex like oblige in these requests? Would he like give into these requests, or did you have to like stop him from like giving into her requests?
He would give in to her requests. And when I would get after him, he's like, oh, sorry, I can't do it because Jacqueline said no, and I gotta listen, blah blah blah. Bro, you don't have to explain to this girl why you're not doing it. It's just, no, you can't do it. Because he wants to be favored, he gives into a lot of things. So I had to stop that because I was like, you're not gonna do that. We're not doing that weird shit here.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing was he said that you had put in a lot of requests for like Uber Eats and Amazon, and he had to cancel all of his cards. Is this true, or is this a
When the
lie
fuck was
that
that?
Alex is saying? He was saying this just the other day. I think just yesterday in his
Yeah, he said
Discord.
it yesterday. He said that he locks all his cards and that you tried to use those cards that were locked, and then he had to report those for fraud, and that caused him to have to get issued new cards. So then he had no access to any of his money last night. At least that's what he was claiming.
He is such a liar. The only time, and here's the thing, he's my husband. He is supposed to be financially responsible for me, especially when that's the role that he wanted to take. There's no crime in a wife using her husband's credit card. There's no crime in that. But no, whatever he's saying, that's a fucking lie. I would own up to my shit. And I'll tell you, the only time that I did request anything was when he was on Sardine Tank. He left this house, okay? He left this house. He paid nothing. None of the bills have been paid in this house for this month. None
Is
of
he
them.
the only one that pays bills?
That's what I'm saying. He wanted to be financially responsible for everything. You know, and I know how that can weigh on one person. And I'm like, bro, are you sure? Are you sure? It's a big responsibility. He's like, I want to be able to have the kids be stress free. I don't want anybody to be stressed out. I want to take responsibility. I'm the dad, blah, blah, blah. I'm the husband, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so well, then why complain about it? When times get hard, you're starting to complain and get stressed out. That's when I come in. Hey, honey, like I want to work. I want to be able to contribute in some type of way. You know? So either he's against me working or he's against me using the car to work. You know? And I don't mind going 50-50. That's the thing. I don't mind it. I would work and I would do anything for Alex. You have no fucking clue. Like, Jesus Christ. But the way he's been acting out lately, like, it's unforgivable. You know, and this is what I told him. Like, bro, there is nothing in this fucking world that I wouldn't fucking do for you. Then I would have done anything for you. I would have bent over backwards, nigga, and I'm fat as fuck. I would have done anything for you. You know, if you told me that we needed it, bro, I'm a hustler. I'll go out there and get it. We're not gonna want for nothing. It doesn't matter where we're at. We're living in a fucking box. I got your back, bro. Like, if you were fighting a whole bunch of guys and I seen that you were going down, I'm coming. I'm slashing necks. I don't care. That's how much. That's how much I had his back. You know.
Mm.
And then he goes and he does this.
What do you think it's I mean, so there's no money, the bills aren't paid. What's going to happen? I know one of your daughters has a job, right? Both of them, I would hope, right?
All of my kids have jobs. Oh,
And they live there in the house.
yeah. Here's the thing though. Like, this is what we were discussing, right? I was trying to, like, okay, this has been enough arguing. Let me reach out to Alex. So I reached out to him after the cops left. I reached out to him and, like, hey, you know, when I told him, you can come up here and take a bath, Alex. Like, he hasn't taken a bath, bro, since he's came back from Sardine Tank. You know,
He
he's like
hasn't
fucking,
bathed in what is it? It's almost a week now.
yeah. It's not because I'm telling him not to come and bathe. It's because he doesn't want to. I don't know why. I'm not threatening him. He's the one threatening me. Literally, I walked downstairs just to feed the monkeys in a living room that is like the community room for everyone.
Mm.
You know, and he gets all hostile and starts saying that I'm fucking, like, trying to, like, abuse him or something, which is so fucking weird. I'm not acting like that. He's come up here many times to get water. He's come up here to come and shave his face, but he won't get in that bathtub. He won't get in the shower. Why? I'm not telling him not to take a shower. Bro, I'm not trying to be mean to him. I'm not trying to be ugly to him either. I want to just be in peace before we exit. You know, we don't have to do this, but this is the route that he's taking. This is the route that he's taking. And I'm not saying, hey, let's forgive each other and let's get back together. No. I want him to be happy just as I want myself to be happy. But the way that things are going right now and the way that we're exiting, it's just toxic as fuck, and it doesn't need to be done this way. It really doesn't. He can come and use this fucking restroom whenever the fuck he wants. Bro, I'm not stopping him. Come and wash your fucking ass and your balls, bro. I know you got some fucking cheese in there, bro. I wash your fucking clothes. I
On
know
the
what I
topic
see.
of fetishes, I wanted to ask you about something. Hold on. Making Alex 700 pounds a control fetish.
Feeder fetish, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, bro, come on. I mean, I'm a big girl. I can't be with the big, fat, humongous guy. I'm already
All
big
right,
too. What are
guys.
we
Well,
gonna
I'm
do?
out.
You know, like a 700-pound guy, bro. Come on, let's be honest here. But if my husband has, I have a feeding fetish. Yes, I want to make him chubby. I want to make him fat. I think he would look sexy as fuck, chubby and fat. I still do. I don't knock the way he looks like he's doing me. I'm not gonna drag his looks. When he gets chubby, he looks sexy as fuck. And that's where that came from. I would love to feed him and make him look healthy again. He looks like fucking Skeletor right now, bro. But he secretly wants to be a fucking humongous 700-pound guy. And he's like, it's only with you. It's only with you. I'm like, no, bro. He's like, tell me, not to get gross, but intimate details. Like when we're getting it on, he's like, tell me how fat you want to get me. Tell me how fat you want to get me. And I'm like, bro, I keep telling you this over and over again. Like, I don't like to talk all that bullshit, during getting it on and stuff. And he's just like, tell me how fat you're gonna get me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get you real big. I'm gonna blow you the fuck up, baby. He loves that shit. So it's just something that's said during sex. Does he actually
He's
want
gonna
to
blow
be a
you up.
seven? Huh?
You're gonna blow him
That's
up. You're gonna
inflation.
get him.
No,
You're
that's
gonna turn him
that's an
into a
inflation
chunky
fetish. That's
monkey.
not a feeder fetish.
Yeah. Does he want to be actually 700 pounds? I hope not, but he likes to sure as fuck hear it when he's fucking. That's for goddamn sure. He likes to be told that he's a big fucking balloon, that he's a dirty little piggy, he's a greedy little pig. That's on him, bro. But hey, I'm here to please my man, and if that's what he wants, baby, you can be my little piggy anytime. I'll feed you as much as you want, baby. I'll sit you down and feed you. But he's just
Are you talking to Alex? Who's that in
huh?
reference to? You talking to
No,
Alex or
I'm
me?
saying that's what I would tell him. That's what I would tell him, because he wanted to be the whole 700-pound thing, Yeah, I got a feeding fetish, especially with him. But he also likes to hear it. He wants to know that he's going to be a 700-pound, immobile, fat guy.
Um,
I have some more
how tall
questions,
is
man.
Alex? How tall is
He's,
is Alex?
he's 6 foot.
6 foot. How old is he?
He's 38.
38. So he's not 6'1", right? And he's not 36.
No. Bro, he was born in 86.
And then I think I might be all tapped out of questions, believe it or not. I don't know if Parsi still has a couple of questions. We can always just take some questions here from the chat as well.
Yeah, I think we went over most of the stuff. The only thing we didn't really bring up, which we might want to bring up, is your appearance on the show. Even though we've already kind of talked about that, I want to get like your insight now compared to how you looked at it before. With the way you were handled before you actually went on the show, your introduction to going on to the show, and then the afterwards.
Say that again. What do you want? What do you want me to answer?
But when you were on Fishtank, right? What was it like before you went on? Like, how did production treat you? And then when you were on the show, I guess how has the reactions been for that? And then getting off the show, how has it been? Like, what would you say are like the key moments that have gotten you to this point? I guess.
The only one that treated me like major shit from production was the. I don't know if he's from fucking England or Australia. What the fuck is his name? I think Lexi had a crush on him or something.
Oh, you're talking the other camera guy. I can't think of his name right now. I know
That
exactly who you're talking
motherfucker
about.
was so disrespectful to me. Like, I know Sam Hyde is a freaking douchebag and he's an asshole, but he was not disrespectful. I still don't like the motherfucker. I still don't like him. But was he disrespectful? No, he was just walking around being weird and shit, And I didn't really talk to Jet that much, so I don't have any beef with him. But that other camera guy, like, that dude had some hate for me. After I went and did what I did with Binks, that dude had like so much hate towards me. It's insane. He was talking shit to me. He was the one like, you fucking bitch, y'all fucking scene is over. You can get the fuck out now. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck's up with all the hostility? Like, what's going on? That's when they proceeded. This is after everything was good and done, and we were supposed to be leaving home. I thought I was going to be able to talk to Alex, and they didn't. I wasn't able to talk to him. They took him into a room, and I was literally yelling for him, and I was like, Alex, if you fucking hear me, they're not I was supposed to be on the show Saturday and Sunday, but I don't know if it's because what happened with Binks that they didn't tell me to go back on there. I remember someone reached out to me and they're like, hey, you can't be doing that, to people, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hey, I get it. I understand. That won't happen again. And so we left it at that. And they're like, okay, well, we'll contact you to let you know when somebody's going to pick you up. They never did, but anyway, before I left that house, I yelled for Alex and I told him, Alex, they're not bringing me back on the fucking show. I know it. They lied to you. Apparently, they lied to him and said that they send us on a shopping spree and they gave us these this iPads and shit. All, false. It was not true at all. We got nothing. I didn't ask for money going on that show. I just wanted to go on there to catch my husband and to scare the shit out of him. I wanted to get the fucking information. And, obviously, I wanted to get my hands on fucking Binks. But, I mean, that was that. Then after the show, I seen what a fucking monster I looked like on the goddamn show. And I was like, Jesus Christ, why did I do that? Like, why did I still wanted to whoop her ass, but why did I go on there so fucking full force? I have regrets about that. Because that put me in a bad position with his family, I'm never disrespectful in his family. I'm always quiet, I'm always respectful. I don't show that version of me to his family, and nor am I that type of person. But I was upset that day. I was upset. I had all kinds of emotions going through me. People had been harassing me. People had been trolling me on all of my social medias. And at that point I was drunk. I was out of my fucking mind, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? I forgot half of the shit there. I don't even remember meeting any of the other contestants. That's how bad that I don't remember shit. That I don't remember doing. I don't even remember sharing a drink with fucking Jeff, but Jeff remembers it. I don't. I'm like, when the fuck did I drink with you, Jeff? I don't remember that, but I did, apparently. I did a lot of shit on that show. But yeah, after the show, it just, I regret a lot of things. I regret the way that I presented myself. I could have handled myself differently. I still wanted to fucking beat Binks' ass, but I could have handled myself differently.
So I guess my only other point was you said that version of yourself when referring to like laying hands on Alex, and he's claimed multiple times that you've laid hands on him multiple different times. Would you say that you guys have a very physical relationship?
So, no, I wouldn't. And when I talked to my daughter and I told her what Alex had said, that I punched him in the face and that's why he has to wear makeup, bro, she laughed. She was like, what? That's ridiculous. Don't you think, like, if I was that violent with him, why would he stay with me? Don't you think he would have told his mom that I was being violent, and he would have taken off? He wouldn't have married me. He wouldn't have spent all that money on me to marry me in some fucking, place or whatever. We wouldn't have gone on trips. We wouldn't have done half of this shit if I was violent like that. And I'm a woman. Let's face it, guys. At the end of the day, I don't care how fat the fuck I am. At the end of the day, I am a woman. A man has way more strength than a woman. A man can knock you the fuck out with one fucking hit. And Alex, we've all seen Alex. You seen him fight Symbol. You seen how fucking crazy he gets. Do you honestly think he's gonna let me put my hands on him? Let's be real here.
No.
He's gonna lash out at me. He's gonna grab me. Alex is very fucking strong. He may look like Skeletor, but he is strong as fuck. He's got little apple muscles, in his fucking arms, and he's strong. He's got strong legs too, because apparently when he used to be taking ballet, he's very fucking strong, and that's what
He did
people don't.
ballet.
Yeah, he took ballet.
Didn't know that.
Yep. But yeah, people don't understand that. People think, oh, you're fat, you punch him in his face, blah, blah, blah. No, bro, I'm 5'2". He's 6 foot. I'd have to uppercut him in his fucking chin. How could I actually fucking get up to his face and punch him unless I stood on a chair or something?
Also, I feel like if you were abusing him, he could just like run away or something. He
He
seems to be.
could, just like he did yesterday when he took off with the fucking animals. He could have done that. Why hasn't he done it? Because it's not true. I'm not violent with him like that. I yell. People get the misconception because I fucking yell and I'm bitching in the background that I'm beating the fuck out of him. And that's the illusion now, right now, that he wants to keep. He wants people to think that I'm that violent, because of what he's holding on in Fishtank. He actually had tried to have them arrest me or press charges on me for what happened in the fish tank, bro. That's so stupid. They
What
didn't
the
even
hell?
entertain that. He was like telling the cops, "Hey, she's abusive. Look, here's a clip of her hitting me in the fish tank, blah blah blah." And they came up to me. The cop
How did that whole situation go down? So you called the police, right? And then when they got there, like, how did the questioning go? Did they like separate you guys and get different stories? And then when they left, what did they tell you both?
I called the cops and I told them, like, I don't want to go downstairs. That's how much afraid I am. I have anxiety because I don't even want to go down there for fear that Alex is going to act out and he's going to try to provoke me to like crash out on him. And he's been recording all like for days nonstop, you know.
Hello, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
They're
Alex
like,
just said on stream that you diddled a 15-year-old boy.
he's such a liar. God, that's weird. I don't know what his obsession with.
Did he really just say that?
Yeah.
That's so weird. Like, where's the proof? Who's the boy? There's what? Alex is insane. He is I don't know what he's taking, what he's high off of right now. I don't know if it's the lack of sleep, but he's totally fucking insane. That is a fucking lie. Where's the proof? Show the boy. Where did he get this nonsense? And he's my husband. So if I try to touch anybody or fuck around with anybody, whether boy or man, he would have been
You
fucking
guys can't
pissed.
even agree if you're married. Alex B is claiming you're not married, then you're claiming you guys are married.
Yeah, of course, because he's fucking delusional, bro. You want me to show you our fucking marriage license? How the fuck are we not married?
He's saying that the paperwork wasn't finalized. I don't know what that means. I've
Oh, it
never
wasn't
been
finalized,
through the
bro.
process.
It's stamped and mailed. Do you think that I would have been able to change my name if it wasn't finalized? Alex is retarded. He's crazy. He doesn't. He's just acting out right now, bro, because he just wants to drag me in the fucking mud. He's fucking pissed, and he wants people to have a certain view of me because he wants to make me look like shit. And you know what? I don't really care. Honestly, I don't care what the fish tank community thinks of me. The fact that he posted my picture out there, I don't care. If I cared, I would have never gotten on this interview. People can talk shit to me all they want. They don't understand what you say about me does not fucking affect me. It really doesn't. But this is bothering me in a different way because this is coming from a person who said he once loved me. This is coming from a person who married me twice. Not just once, but twice. This is coming from
He
a
married you
person who,
twice?
yes,
Yeah,
who
they
wanted
did
to
like a
build.
small wedding and then a bigger one, like a real one.
Can she say that?
She did say
Yeah,
that.
I did say that.
Oh,
We
okay.
had two weddings. We had two. We got married twice. We got married, just paperwork and like a little, ordained minister with just me, Alex, and the kids. Then we had our ceremony last year before Fish Tank. So we got married in 2022. We officially got married in 2022. We just had our wedding ceremony last year before Fish Tank. And why he's saying that it's not fucking real, that's all in his fucking delusional head of his.
Hmm.
Alex needs to detox. That's what he needs to do. He needs to detox. He needs to stay away from his goddamn fish tank chat because they're just egging him on to do shit. They're putting shit in his fucking head, and he's believing his own fucking lies now. He's at the point where he's believing his own lies. I've talked to certain family members, and they're literally like, "This is the way Alex gets when he's on drugs. He gets ugly. He gets violent. This is what we've had to put up with. I'm sorry that you're putting up with this, but the only way that we can see what he does is if you record him, because you have to be our eyes. We are not there, so anything that he says is going to be valid if you don't have any proof to show that this is the way that he's acting." So naturally, when he starts acting up and he starts acting stupid, I record him, not to post it on the internet, but to have proof for my own safety. Hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going down. And about the camera thing. So the ring cameras. I sent him the invitation. He has not, I don't know if he hasn't found it or he's just not trying to look for the invitation that I sent him. He's got an invitation to get into the ring cameras. He just doesn't look for it. Second of all, now I'm really, and to be honest, this is what I told the cop. I really don't want him in the ring camera now because he's going to try to delete footage of him doing random shit. Like when he lied to his mom and told her that he was staying in his car for 4 days because he was afraid for his life. Bro, he's been streaming from this fucking house nonstop. The only time he was out was yesterday.
Have you
Then
seen the clip of the monkey peeing on the keyboard?
I didn't even know that. And then somebody told me that, and then they also told me that same day he was in the garage and he was acting weird and he was saying that I was going down there to harm him and he was afraid. Bro, this is all bullshit. He ain't even fucking, like, he literally said no. I when I asked him, like, have you seen me go down there at all? Period. Usually y'all can hear me talking shit, slamming doors, but have I done that at all this week? At all? No. Since we've been arguing, I've been
So
keeping
you've
my
given him access. He has access to the ring cameras.
Yep.
Although you're worried that he can delete the footage from the ring cameras in case like things get out of control.
Yeah. Well, he's already tried. He unplugged the ring cameras at one point, and I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with this. I don't know if he was trying to have a conversation with someone without me knowing. I didn't care at that point. I wasn't even fucking paying attention to him anymore at that point. I'm still not paying attention to him, but I agreed to do this interview because I said, and I told this to Parzi, I'm like, hey, this is going to be the last time that I talk about Alex. This is the last interview because I want to distance myself from the fish tank community completely. But that's why I also went on Bert's stream, because I'm making my peace to have peace of mind and telling everybody, hey, there's no there's no animosity or like ill will towards any of y'all guys. It was funny. It was entertaining. We all talk shit to each other, and everybody's still in the same fucking community, doing the same bullshit. Guys know, like, for my part, I don't hold any ill intentions or any ill will towards anyone, and that's where I stand, and that's how I'm gonna leave it. But
yeah, I really do appreciate you allowing us to talk to you and get your side of the story and your side. But as everybody knows, there's going to be two sides to every story.
Of course.
Well, there's three. There's your side, his side, and then the truth. Ultimately, one more. I just have a couple more things, and then we can wrap up here, Jacqueline. I'm sure you probably want to maybe get some sleep or something. What's going on with these like Netflix deals, Hulu deals, Amazon? All these deals that he said he had come January, but nothing's happened yet. Do you know anything about this future acting?
There's no deals. I've asked him repeatedly, Alex, is that real? And he's like, no, honey, but I got to keep them guessing, so they won't think that I don't have anything coming in. The only thing he had big was the Alex Stein thing, And I think you
Yeah.
guys need to understand, like, you guys need to judge for yourself. You don't need to take my word for it. But you guys know Alex now for a couple of months. You know him on stream. If anything good happens to him, he's the first one to gloat about it and talk about it for weeks on end.
Hmm.
But the fact that this Netflix deal that he has never been mentioned, and it was supposed to happen in January and February, and it's still not there. I'm sure he tried to get on a show, but because of his background, his criminal background, they're not accepting him. You know, and he's just baiting everybody until he can actually get on a Netflix show.
Yeah, I remember he said something briefly when he first got out of the fish tank about like a Zach Baggins like ghost
Let me
show
tell you
or something
something
like that.
about Zach Baggins, okay?
Hmm.
Zach Baggins had no the fuck idea who the fuck Alex Bernard was. They didn't know. They reached out to me. And when I asked this person, hey, do you know Alex Bernard? Because I thought it was from Fish Tank too. I was like, oh, damn, they're probably from Fish Tank. They're probably going to fish tank us or whatever. And I'm over here thinking that they know who Alex was. He explained to me, Zach Baggins reached out to you because he's seen your TikTok and your Discord was posted on your TikTok. So we reached out to you, and in case you didn't get our message on TikTok, we reached out on your Discord. He messaged me. Alex never got that message, and it wasn't because Alex gets so many messages, blah blah blah. He couldn't find it. No, you can go through all of Alex's Discord messages. He never got a message from the Zach Baggins fucking museum. It was me. I was the one that got that message, and they asked me, who do you want the tickets to be under? And I was like, I guess Alex Bernard. And I put the tickets under Alex's name, which is why Alex keeps thinking that they knew who he was. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought they knew who he was too. But in
So,
reality,
so
they really
basically,
didn't.
what had happened is you were in Vegas, you signed up for the thing, and you put the tickets in his name, and
Yes.
Alex is thinking that Zach Baggins essentially had the tickets directly for him because of who he is, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I was like, so I went ahead and I told Alex, to get off and get the tickets. We're still thinking that it's Fish Tank people, but no, in reality, yeah, that they contacted me and they asked me what time I wanted to go, if I wanted the tickets under my name, and I was like, no, can I put it under Alex Bernard? And they're like, yeah, we can put it under whoever's name you want it to be, just as long as you pick up the tickets. That's why when we got there to Zach Baggins Museum, he went and he was like, do you know Alex Bernard? That's my name. I came to pick up the tickets. No one knew who the fuck he was because it was never under his name. It was under my name. But I had them put it under Alex's name because I was thinking that it was something fish tank related, and
And then,
then he went on saying, telling everybody, okay, because that person did tell me, they told me, and I have the messages in my Discord. They did tell me, like, hey, Zach always gets these up and coming TikTokers, and he puts them on his show. He might reach
yeah,
out to you in January or February. He said to do a show with you. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. So I told Alex. Well, Alex took off with that. And he started telling everybody on the stream, oh, Zach Baggins reached out to me. Zach Baggins said we're gonna be on this show. Well, I don't know if that affected our chances of getting back on that show and actually being on there, because Zach never contacted us again. Like, his people never contacted us again. I don't know if that affected us in any way, because he just started going off at the mouth and saying that Zach was going to have us back, when that's not what they said. They said he could possibly reach out to us in January or February if he wanted us back on the show. But they never did. So that was that. That's the truth about that.
and then, what all do you know about the whole poop dollars incident?
I don't know much. I really don't know who that guy is, but when we were live streaming, I quickly found out that he had came to our house or whatever, and Alex kept saying, like, you don't know my wife, you don't know my daughter. I'm like, bro, we're not like that. We're not fucking hostile and shit, That's why I was just laughing. If I wanted to be fucking hostile, bro, I would act the fuck a fool. But I didn't really give a fuck, Parsi reached out to me and was warning me and telling me that he had reached out to the mods. I don't remember which ones, but he reached out to the mods, and the mods, I believe it was killed. He reached out, so I'm not sure. And he said that he had repeatedly told them that someone was coming to our house and they were going to come back and they were going to, like, whatever it is that they were trying to do here. And we never got the message. We never got the message because Alex didn't want me talking to Parsi anymore because he said we were getting too close to each other. So he made me block him. So I never really got the message. But I went in there and I unblocked Parsi. It so happened that I unblocked him and those messages came through. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I told Alex, like, hey, Parsi told me he tried to warn us, and now it's too late because the guy already came. But I didn't take it personal when that guy came. I just said, like, bro, if you want to meet Alex, just knock on the fucking door
Yeah,
next
I
time like a
remember.
normal person.
I do remember that Alex did reach out to, or not Alex. Parsi reached out to Elber, and he tried to tell Elber, like, "Hey, Alex is essentially baiting this guy,
That's exactly what
saying that
happened.
that's not his house," And then that night, that's when he essentially banged on the house and said, like, I ain't never had the wrong house, or something to that effect,
And then the
right?
part you guys aren't bringing up is like probably a month after that, he was threatening to like SWAT and dox me and do all this crazy shit.
And
And he got
me,
like a picture
don't
of
forget
me.
me.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. And then that led to like a big argument between us and you guys.
Yeah, bro,
I don't know
I
if you.
never had a problem with you, Parsi, ever. Like, we were always straight and narrow, like, cool as fuck. That's why when all that shit went down, I was like, damn, I'm disappointed, bro, because, like, I really, me and Parsi would chat all the time, like, nothing weird. We would just chat like normal, and talk about stuff. And for this to happen, and then the whole thing with you shits, I didn't have anything to do
Mhm.
with that. But I went into the server and then I'm getting attacked by all these people. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
I mean,
But
the
you know what?
invitation stands, bro. If you want to hotbox the Corolla and then
Oh
like
my
go
god.
fuck up a Golden Corral until they have to kick us out on forklifts, I'm down.
Oh
Sounds
my
like a
god,
good
you're
time.
terrible. But bro, yeah, I don't hold any animosity towards people. Shit talking is shit talking. You get it regardless. You got to take it with the fucking platform or the stream or whatever it is with Fishtank because the community is just so fucking insanely crazy and people talk shit all the time.
Mhm.
So, it's either rage bait and get upset or roll with the fucking punches and move the fuck on. And
Yeah,
I
I think
just
it's kind of
decided not.
crazy when you believe your donator, the people who donate to you, or you believe the people who subscribe to you, um, when you know for a fact that everybody in the fish, I would say 90% of the fish tank community is unhinged, and they just want to see people crash the fuck out. They want to see people go crazy. They want to see a confrontation between you and
Oh, I
Alex.
know they do.
They
A
want to see
hundred
that.
percent. I believe that 100%. And Alex is giving them what they want, and
I
that's
mean, this
why
is
they
already the biggest
continue
crash show
to.
I've ever seen personally. So
He's the crash out king. That's him. And sadly it's taking control and it's consuming him now, and he just can't stop himself, and it's destroying everything, whether he likes it or not. It's destroying and severing ties with people that should never have been severed, not only
I
myself
100% agree with you.
but with Aperture, with other people that I've spoken
Yeah, he
to.
he burned his bridges with Aperture. Aperture is his biggest donor. I think 1 month Aperture
Exactly.
donated probably close to $2,000 to him.
Do you
You know,
know how excited he was the moment that Kian told him that he could get Aperture on his live streams. Like Alex really like that's the God's honest truth. He really thought so very highly of Aperture, you know. He was excited to have Aperture a part of his team, you know, about his biggest donator and stuff. And for Aperture to make that, you know, a point to be like, hey, I liked you before I met you, but now that I know you, I don't like you at all. You know, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
That
mean,
speaks volumes, bro. Like that speaks volumes. And he literally told me, like, I have a newfound respect for you. You deal with this all the time. I've only met him and been with him for like 2-3 days. You've been with him for 4 freaking years, and you know, I don't understand how you do it. I'm like, he wasn't like this, bro. He didn't used to be like this, or at least he wasn't this bad. He's always been a little weird and kooky and shit, and like insanely crazy, but not this bad. This level of Super Saiyan that he's fucking reached is like unreachable. There's no coming back for him from this. I don't see how he's going to recuperate from this, or whether he even gives a fuck about recuperating. But like, even my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's like, you know, I feel bad for him, Mom, because nobody wants him. And now, I'm not saying like relationship wise. I mean, like, I know that his family is his family. They're going to help him. They're going to be there regardless. But like, even they try to keep their distance from him. He wasn't allowed to be around the family for the holidays last year because of the way that he acted on the cruise, bro. He crashed out on the
yeah.
fucking cruise. He got shit faced drunk on bars, and he crashed out. He did his own thing.
Yeah,
I
I
spent
could
time with his
sense
family.
in some of the like TikToks that he posted or the Instagram reels, there was definitely like you seemed pissed off every time the camera was on you while you were at the cruise.
Yeah, and I'm not a pissed off person. If
Hello?
sorry, whoever's been talking to me lately, like literally, you guys have been talking to me, and I'm pretty sure you can get the vibe. It's not a fucking act. This is me 24 fucking 7. Unless I'm fucking mad about something. But this is me 24 fucking 7. You get what you get. I'm not going to dilute myself, and I'm not going to act like something that I'm not, you know. And about the whole fucking looks thing, bro. What bitch doesn't put on fucking makeup? You know? I just so
Yeah.
happen to like to change my fucking hair all the fucking time. And I'm not going to damage my own fucking hair by dyeing it and bleaching it all the time. You know? And he wants to attack what he thinks is that I'm going to take personally. I don't really care, bro. I don't care. He's the one. I have so many fucking pictures of him butt ass naked. I could do so much damage to him, but you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to put him out there the way he's done me. I'll talk about all of this stuff, yes. But pictures, I won't do that to him.
Yeah,
And I should, but
that's
I'm not.
illegal. Yeah, don't do none of that craziness.
The way he
Um
did me dirty, I'm not going to do that to him. You know what? I see it as him destroying his own self. He's already fucked himself with a lot of people. People have already told me that they cut him off. Like, bro, you you already see that your family's like distancing themselves from you because you just don't stop. You know, they'll take your calls, but like barely because you just don't stop.
who
You're
gets
already.
who gets the monkeys? What's going to happen with the monkeys?
I don't want to discuss that because he's gonna start acting out and getting all childish and shit downstairs because I know he's listening.
Mhm.
But honestly, I'm not gonna comment on that.
What do you
And I
think?
know that he's gonna
So,
say, "I'm taking the
what do you
monkeys," blah blah blah. So I'm gonna let
what
him
do you
go
think the
ahead and
best
say it.
course of action would be, though?
I think honestly, I may not be financially equipped, but he's not mentally equipped. He does not know. I wouldn't even trust him with a little tiny baby, bro. To be honest, like I think that's why God never fucking like blessed us with a child because Alex was dead on trying to get me knocked the fuck up because he wanted a baby. We both wanted a
Mhm.
baby, but it just didn't happen. And now I know why it didn't happen.
How long
you know?
ago was that?
That's been since we met each other.
Well, no offense, but you're kind of past your prime for having a baby.
People,
You
you
know,
know what? I'm past my prime from having a fucking baby, but still, like, there's other methods, and we've talked about that. We could get a surrogate. If it doesn't work out, we can get a surrogate. There's so many other things, bro. Like, I'm a mother at heart. I'm a mother, period. I absolutely love being a fucking mother. And there's nothing in this world. Like, if I had a baby now, I would be so happy. But the way things are going with me and him and the way that I see him, I'm happy that it never happened. I'm so happy that it never happened. I couldn't see myself going through this with a child. It's just, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that
is
it didn't happen.
there any way? How do we come back from this? Is there any way to repair this? Is there any way to fix this?
Definitely not.
Does it have to end like this?
It doesn't have to end in arguing and fighting and pointing fingers and getting hostile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still open to talking with him and like figuring out where we're gonna go from here. But as far as like repairing our marriage, there's no reparation from this. Like, he's already dragged me through the mud. He's done what he's done. Do you know what that's gonna make me look like if I forgive that? Do you know that it's gonna make me look stupid? Like, this man doesn't want me and I'm going to try to like forgive him and like bring him back. No. And I don't think he wants to come back either. So we're just going to leave it at that and move on. We're too toxic for each other,
Mm-hmm.
and him more so than I in certain aspects, it's just not working. And I'm accepting that. I'm starting to accept that little by little, which is why you don't see me crashing out on the streams anymore, arguing with him. And whatever little ounce of love and respect that I had for him left, that's out the door. That flew out the door the minute he went to sardine
Yeah,
tank.
because of the ultimatum, right?
That, and because of the things that he did on there and said on there, and he doesn't own up to it. He should have came back. He should have apologized. We could have talked this out, but he didn't. He chose to go down the path of lying and destruction, and now we're here, and now we got to deal with it. And he's just done way too much to go back on that, and I'm sad about it. I really am. I'm sad that this is going this way. I'm sad that it's not gonna work out, but I'm hoping, and I'm gonna be the bigger person here in both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I wish him all the fucking best of luck. I really do. And I hope to God that he can, like, maybe one day find some type of peace and find a way to, like, just give his mom peace, God forbid, before anything happens to her, because she is up in age. But she looks very great for her age. And but she's also told me, like, I'm not in the best of health. I look good, but I'm not in the best of health. I'm older and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that Alex can find a way to just ease her mind and stop giving her so many problems, before any of that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Let's wrap this up, right? I apologize. It's been a while. Like I said, I'm sure you're tired. Everybody's a little bit tired. It's been Easter Sunday.
I have one more
ate
question
so much
before we.
chocolate bunnies. Yeah, you ask yours, and then I'll finish up.
All right. We all know he looks like a monkey. Does he also smell like one?
he probably smells like one now because he hasn't bathed.
All right, that's it. I'm sorry.
Good question. And then where do you see in a beautiful world, where do you see yourself in a perfect world, where do you see yourself in 1 year from now? And where do you see Alex in a year from now?
You mean like in reality or like in a
Yeah.
false fictional world?
You give me both if possible.
in a false fictional world, there's no fish tank. He leaves the fish tank community, and he goes on to be like the best fucking streamer. We continue to stay married. He continues to be loyal, and we just have a badass fucking life. But in reality, that's not what it is. In reality, he's got a problem. He's got issues that he's got to work out. I've got things that I have to work out. I see myself going back to the life that I had before, and I'm okay with that. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm okay with that. Him, I do see him streaming. Do I see it reaching any level? I really don't. I think that he's in a downward spiral, and I think it's just going to keep going down. People are going to start to notice. People are going to meet him, and they're going to know, just like Aperture did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only going to get worse from there. Because if you meet him and he feels comfortable enough around you to be himself, and that side of him comes out, you're going to quickly know that everything that's been said is not a lie. Like, you're going to know. I don't want to completely trash talk him like he's done me. Alex can be very foul, very ugly when he's on that shit, when he's drinking, but he can also be such a badass fucking person. He's silly, he's spontaneous. He's fucking like dingy as fuck. The man can't text and drive or text and walk at the same time. He's dingy as fuck. He doesn't know how to be domestic. He doesn't know how to do any of that. But those are all the things that I liked about him, because he's so retarded. The fact that he just can't do shit for himself, I just find it hilarious. But sadly, I don't see it going anywhere for him. But I do wish him all the fucking best, and I hope that, he can stop like taking advice from the wrong people and take advice from the right ones, the ones that genuinely care for him and want the best for him. And that's his manager. And I would hope so Ken as well, if Ken is still there for him, despite everything that's happening, I feel like maybe Aperture, maybe not in the near future, but like in the future, he might make amends with Alex. Will he work with him again? I don't think so. But I feel like maybe, they might be on talking terms, but it's never going to be the same again because of what happened. And it's really sad because it didn't have to come to this. Like I said a million times, he could have just not been so crazy and just cut out the lies, and he just continues to lie, and it's just getting worse. But yeah, hopefully, I'm pretty sure if he's hearing me, I wish him all the best of luck. Despite what happens between us, I still greatly appreciate the things that he did do, but I don't appreciate the things that he's did recently, and that's where I leave it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do hope everything works out for you. If you ever need, to speak out or to say something, you can always message us. If your housing situation is bad, I do know a guy in Houston named Poop Dollars who might be able to put you up for the night. And then one last thing, real quick, what do you think about this guy right here? What do you think about this sexy man right here? Do you think he could get it, or is he too fat?
Who is that?
Do you think he could get it, or is he too fat?
He's definitely not my type. I'm sure he can get it somewhere else, but definitely not for me.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. That was me. Thank you so much.
Oh, I thought it was Frank. Sorry.
Really, people think we're brothers, so I get it a lot. All right. Well, with that being said, I think we're good. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and sharing all this information with us. And then, of course, Alex has his information too. And unfortunately, until receipts are shown, it's going to be up in the air. People are going to choose a side. I'm on the side of love. Love heals all wounds. And I hope that, you guys can have some sort of peaceful resolution. But in order for that to happen, Alex is going to have to stop streaming for the time being. He's going to have to not listen to his chat because he doesn't know who to trust. Like I said, with the Aperture situation, he's like, yeah, Aperture's great, but Aperture's also donating money, the same amount of money, if not more, to Bert to try to, to get interactions. Like, that's what Aperture does. So I think he needs to step away from the Discord and step away from his the people who engage with him about Fishtank and probably just move on, because ultimately I think Fishtank has fried his brain. I think he's completely fried.
I completely disagree with you, Willie. I think he needs to continue to stream. I think he needs to stream 24/7. I think he needs to become Fishtank. I think he needs to encompass Fishtank. I think he needs to bring that camera with him everywhere he goes.
I know you're playing.
But that's it. And once again, I really appreciate you for coming in and talking.
Well, thank you guys. I expected differently, but it was pretty cool. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thank you so much.